Good evening and welcome to the Mega News at 6, coming to you live on MBN TV. We are broadcasting from our studio in Nungwa at Dogono on the 10th Avenue Street. Remember, you can also catch our live stream on Facebook and YouTube at MBN 360. I am Afro Juliet Yaira. Let's take a look at tonight's headlines. Chief Justice championed faster justice at Supreme Court's 150th anniversary. In the world of business, Newmont's leadership meets President Mahama, discuss sustainable sector growth. On the foreign front, Mugabe's son pleads guilty to pointing a gun in South Africa. These and many other stories coming up shortly. Do stay. To our first story, Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana, Paul Bafo-Boni, has called for a renewed focus on faster and more efficient justice delivery as the country marked the 150th anniversary of its Supreme Court.
Speaking at the City Conference Center at the University of Ghana, he described the occasion as a moment of reflection and responsibility rather than mere celebration. The event brought together key figures from the judiciary, executive and the legislature, including the Deputy Chief of Staff, Nanoye Bampo Ado, and Deputy Attorney General, Justice Sirim Sai. Addressing the gathering, the Chief Justice emphasized that the anniversary must be used to elevate the performance of the judiciary and to define a clear path for the future. Chief Justice Bafo-Boni traced the origins of the Supreme Court to the Supreme Court Ordinance of 1876, highlighting the institution's long journey through Ghana's colonial and post-independence history.
If it is to remain relevant, must not only endure, it must respond. That is why this anniversary is not only a commemoration, it is a turning point and a mandate. The court of today is a living institution, busier, more accessible, and more transparent than ever. We have embraced technology, strengthened processes, and worked tirelessly to deliver justice that is timely and fair. Our courts, from the apex to the districts, serve millions who turn to us when all else feels uncertain. We celebrate the present through concrete actions already in motion. Through the e-Justice program, we are moving toward digital filing, digital service, virtual hearings, and digitized records, making justice faster, more efficient, and more accessible.
Moving on, Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opari Ado, addressed the Global Assembly at the United Nations headquarters during the recent ECOSOC Youth Forum. He articulated the firm dedication of the government under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama toward achieving the Sustainable Development Goals with a specific focus on health and well-being.
The minister explained that the administration prioritized strengthening policy frameworks to expand essential opportunities for the younger generation. He emphasized that these initiatives sought to improve the structural support system available to citizens transitioning into the professional workforce. The United Nations Economic and Social Council organized this annual gathering to bring together young leaders and policymakers from every continent. This forum functioned as a primary platform for the youth to engage directly with international institutions regarding the future of global development. The 2026 edition of the forum took place in New York City. The session concentrated on increasing youth participation to solve challenges regarding employment, inequality, and sustainable growth. Minister Opari Ado opened by addressing the necessity of increasing capital investment to boost entrepreneurship among the youth.
Today, however, our young people are confronted with growing pressures from unemployment, academic demands, the influence of digital transformation, and rapid societal change. Recent research conducted in Ghana revealed that depression affects about 8% of tertiary students and one in 5 individuals in the general population. Substance abuse is also on the rise, with over 40% and 37% of tertiary and second cycle students respectively exposed to drugs on campuses. This means the usage of drugs in these institutions are real. Even more disturbing is early initiations with 26% before the ages of 15, 41% between the ages of 16 and 17, and 25% between the ages of 18 and 19, leading to addiction, poor academic outcomes, and long-term vulnerability. A troubling misconception persists. More than half of the students believe that substance use helps manage stress. When combined with the rise in youth gambling, where 7 out of 10 report anxiety, we are seeing a deepening mental health crisis. Access to support is still limited. Only about 1/3 of schools have counselors or health facilities. This gap is simply unacceptable. However, Ghana is taking decisive action. We have launched the Red Means Stop campaign to confront substance abuse and raise awareness on mental health. We are also strengthening advocacy to ensure dedicated mental health services across campuses, including counselors, peer system supports, and accessible care where young people learn and live. Considering this, we call for increased investment in accessible and youth-friendly mental health services, deliberate efforts to reduce stigma, and promote open dialogue and stronger collaboration among families, schools, and communities. To conclude, investing in youth mental health is investing in resilience, productivity, and our shared sustainable future. Thank you.
Also, Ghana has joined the global community to observe the International Day for Street Children, with renewed calls for protection, inclusion, and dignity for vulnerable children living on the streets.
Marked annually on April 12th, the International Day for Street Children raises awareness about the challenges faced by millions of street-connected children worldwide and promotes their rights to protection, care, and access to essential services. The event in Ghana highlighted the need for a shift in societal and institutional response, urging stakeholders to move away from criminalizing street children and instead prioritize their welfare and reintegration in society. Delivering remarks on behalf of the Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Honorable Dr. Agnes Namumulati, the Director of Department of Social Welfare, Dr. Prince Buama, stressed that street children remain among the most vulnerable groups in society. He explained that many children are pushed onto the streets due to poverty, neglect, abuse, and lack of access to basic social services. These conditions, he noted, should not be grounds for punishment, but rather a call for urgent interventions and support. The International Day for Street Children celebration in Ghana, therefore, serves as a platform to advocate for more human and inclusive policies that recognize the rights and humanity of street-connected children. Dr. Prince Vuama also highlighted government interventions such as the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty, which is LEAP, the program, and the school feeding program, which aim to reduce the economic pressure and drive children to the streets.
Away from that story, Ghana has deepened its cybersecurity partnership with Italy, bringing together government officials, technical experts, and private sector stakeholders at a high-level workshop aimed at strengthening the country's defense against a rising tide of digital threats.
The Ghana-Italy Cooperation on Cybersecurity Stakeholder Workshop was addressed by Honorable Samuel Nate George, Minister for Communication, Digital Technology and Innovations, who outlined the agencies of the collaboration and Ghana's broader ambitions to lead the continent in cybersecurity excellence. The event brought together distinguished representatives of the government of Italy and partners from the Cyber 4.0 Cybersecurity Competence Center, signaling the agency with which both nations are approaching the growing threat of cybercrime. According to the minister, Ghana's digital transformation agenda had expanded rapidly in recent years, driven by heavy investment in connectivity innovation and digital republic infrastructure. As that transformation accelerates, he said, cybersecurity has moved from being a technical concern to the central pillar of national development strategy. Between January and March 2026 alone, Ghana's National Computer Emergency Response Team recorded 3,500 cybersecurity incidents with malware activities, ransomware attempts, and attacks targeting critical information infrastructure (CII), all on the rise. Sam George noted that the increase in cross-border cyber threats marks structured international cooperation not just beneficial, but essential. The Ghana-Italy partnerships, he said, is precisely the kind of collaborative framework needed to address threats that do not respect national borders. In response to the escalating threat environment, Ghana has significantly intensified its enforcement efforts.
In other stories, the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Authority (DVLA) has impounded 40 vehicles at Tema Harbour after uncovering the use of fake and wrongly applied drive from port stickers.
The operation, which was based on intelligence, revealed that some vehicles carried fraudulent DP stickers, while others had genuine stickers that did not match their records. Preliminary investigations showed that the vehicles were imported into Ghana by CFAO. However, officials say the issues appears to have risen during the clearing processing. According to the DVLA, evidence suggesting that an agent engaged to clear the vehicles on behalf of the company employed illegal methods, resulting in the discrepancies identified. The DVLA introduced DP stickers to replace the old aluminium DP plate system as part of efforts to reduce revenue losses. The change initially led to the cheap price in usage. The authority reported that insurance increased from an average of 2,000 stickers per month to about 15,000 in October 2025. However, in recent months, officials noted a drop in the number of stickers being issued at the port. This decline raised concerns and further investigations, which led to the latest operation at Tema Harbour. The DVLA says it's now working closely with national security to investigate the case and clamp down on fraudulent practices within the vehicle import and registration system. The authority said that keeping accurate vehicle data is essential. It noted that proper records helps ensure road safety, improve traceability, and support effective transport policies.
Up next is business. Do stay. Now let's do some business stories. Newmont Corporation President and Executive Officer Natasha Viljoen spearheaded a high-level executive delegation to Accra to reinforce the mining giant's long-term investment strategy in Ghana during a consultative meeting with President His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Accompanied by Chief Sustainability and Development Officer Peter Thoth and Newmont's Ghana regional leadership, the visit served as a critical forum to align the company's Ahafo North expansion and existing operations with the government's renewed focus on industrialization and local content. The dialogue, which included U.S. Chargé d'Affaires Rolf Olson, centered on the collaborative necessity of a stable and predictable regulatory environment to ensure that the extractive sectors remain a primary engine for Ghana's macroeconomy sustainability and community development. Building on more than 2 decades of successful operations within the West African nation, Viljoen and her team utilized the engagement to reaffirm Newmont's role as a cornerstone of Ghanaian economy. The presence of Peter Thoth underscored the company's commitment to integrating ESG principles directly into the mining life cycle, particularly as President Mahama pushes for a technology-driven and locally owned sector through his recently outlined 6 strategies pillar. By engaging both the presidency and the U.S. diplomatic mission, Newmont Corporation highlighted the importance of bilateral cooperation in securing sustainable operations. The discussion aimed to bridge the gap between large-scale foreign direct investment and the president's vision of moving Ghana beyond exporting raw materials towards a future of value addition and enhanced local capacity. Ghana's Ministry of Food and Agriculture, MOFA, has signed a Memorandum of Understanding MOU with Farmart Limited, a private tomato production and processing company, to scale up domestic tomato production and reduce the country's heavy reliance on imports. The agreement signed at the MOFA offices in Accra establishes a public-private partnership in which the government will provide enabling support and coordination, while Farmart takes the lead on implementation, production, and value chain operation. The partnership is set to launch this year. According to the minister, the initiative will expand tomato cultivation from the 1,000 acres Farmart managed last year to a nationwide footprint of 40,000 acres, a 40-fold increase that seeks to fundamentally transform Ghana's vegetable supply landscape. Under the terms of the partnership, the program is targeting the production of 400,000 tons of fresh tomatoes annually, supported by processing infrastructure with a combined capacity of 20 tons per hour, backed by pack houses, pre-processing centers, and logistics hub distributed across key growing zones in the country. Beyond fresh produce, the initiative is also projected to deliver 200,000 tons of tomatoes pure each year. In total, the program is expected to yield an output of 600,000 tons of fresh tomatoes for the Ghanaian market annually. Speaking at the signing ceremony, Food and Agriculture Minister Eric Opoku described the MOU as a decisive step towards addressing a long-standing vulnerability in Ghana food system. He said the program will tackle multiple pressure points at once. The minister also pointed to the problem of post-harvest losses, which he said were estimated at around 30% of total production. He explained that the program aimed to reduce those losses will simultaneously create guaranteed markets for farmers, a factor he believed will draw more productions into the vegetable cultivation.
The Farmart Limited has decided to scale up from 1,000 hectares last year, 1,000 acres last year, to 40,000 acres this year. And they are going to produce under irrigation. And under this arrangement, they want to produce 400,000 tons of fresh tomatoes to the Ghanaian market. 400,000. Now what they say is that if they are able to implement fully all the outlined programs, they should be able to deliver to the Ghanaian market not less than 600,000 tons of fresh tomatoes. But you know, they also have a processing factory located at the Legon bypass. They are able to process 20 tons per hour. So in a day, you can imagine the quantity that can be processed. They want to scale it up so that they can process more. And they are also saying that apart from the fresh tomato that you can find in the market, they are also grinding the tomato and then packaging them. That's what they call puree. So when you go to the market and you don't find the fresh tomato, you can find the puree, which is just tomato in that form.
In the world of sports, Ghanaian philanthropist Alex Ochiri has donated 240,000 Ghana cedis to support the Black Stars preparation for the 2026 World Cup. The contribution was disclosed by Deputy Finance Minister Thomas Nyarko Ampem on Thursday, April 16, during a ceremony at the Ministry of Finance, where several companies redeemed their pledges towards the national team's World Cup organization. 6 corporate entities, KGL Group, Serene Insurance, Jewel Energy, Icon Energy, Errata Motors, and Pay Angel contributed a combined total of 9,540,000 Ghana cedis to the World Cup fundraising committee. Expressing appreciation to donors, Mr. Ampem commended both individuals and corporate bodies for supporting the national cause. KGL Group led the contribution with 5 million Ghana cedis as part payments of its 10 million pledge, while Serene Insurance presented 2 million, Jewel Energy and Icon Energy donated 1 million each, with Errata and Pay Angel contributing 200,000 and 100,000 Ghana cedis respectively. Providing a breakdown of the funds received so far, he emphasized transparency in the process. The government of Ghana is targeting $30,000 million to fund the Black Stars campaign as preparations intensify ahead of the global showpiece. Away from sports now, let's do some entertainment story. Prominent Ghanaian rapper Medical has urged stakeholders in the Ghanaian music industry to strengthen its structures, particularly the royalty payment system, so that artists can fully benefit from their creative work. In an exclusive interview with the BBC News Pidgin, the artist, whose real name is Samuel Edu Frimpong, highlighted the challenges facing musicians and proposed ways the sector could evolve to support sustainable careers. Medical, a leading figure in Ghanaian hip-hop and rap, is also a nominee for the Artist of the Year 2026 at the Ghana Music Awards. The AMG Medical boss spoke candidly about the current royalty framework, noting that it often leaves artists struggling despite their popularity and output. He emphasized the need for better systems that ensure fair compensation and long-term growth for talents in the industry. Medical gave special recognition to dancehall superstar Shatta Wale, describing him as a significant influence and mentor. Shatta Wale teach me many things from music and business, he stated. This acknowledgement underscores the collaborative spirit and knowledge sharing that exists among some of Ghana's biggest music names. Shatta Wale, known for his dominance in dancehall and business ventures, has evidently played a key role in shaping Medical's approach both on stage and in the boardroom. The rapper also addressed his position as one of Ghana's top live performers. He revealed his standard performance fee, which has already generated considerable discussion online. The disclosure has sparked reactions among social media platforms. Supporters view it as a reflection of Medical's established value and hard work over the years, while others see it as an opportunity to debate booking cost, artist valuation, and economics of live events in Ghana. We will be back with some international news. Do stay with us. The youngest son of Zimbabwe's late former leader Robert Mugabe has pleaded guilty to pointing a firearm and illegally being in South Africa. Bellarmine Mugabe entered guilty pleas to 2 charges after he was arrested in February following the shooting of a 23-year-old man at his house in Johannesburg. The 28-year-old has been held in custody alongside co-accused Tobias and appeared at the court in Alexandra on Friday. Lawyers for the men told the court that they were prepared to return to their native Zimbabwe at their own expense if they do not receive custodial sentence. Tobias Tobias, 33, pleaded guilty to attempted murder, defeating the ends of justice, illegal immigration, and possession of ammunition. Mugabe, who was also previously charged with attempted murder, spoke only to confirm that he understood the charges and to enter his pleas after he has reached a deal with his prosecutors. The National Prosecuting Authority (NPA) did not say what has happened to the charge of attempted murder he has faced. Both men were arrested on 19th February after police were called to Mugabe's house in the upmarket Johannesburg suburb of Hyde Park. A man believed to be a security guard was taken to hospital in a critical condition after he was shot. Prosecutors previously told the courts that the shooting followed a row between the three men inside the property and that the victim was shot twice in the back outside as he tried to flee. Authorities who conducted a research of the home have yet to find the gun. Sentencing proceedings have been postponed to 24th April, the NPA said. Since Mugabe's arrest, the case has faced several delays and his bail hearing was postponed twice. The Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of ceasefire, says the Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi.
In a statement on X, he says, in line with the ceasefire in Lebanon, the passage for all commercial vessels through Strait of Hormuz is declared completely open for the remaining period of ceasefire on the coordinated route as already announced by Ports of Maritime Organization of the Islamic Rep in Iran. The U.S. announced it would begin a naval blockade of the Strait of Hormuz earlier this week, after Iran had effectively closed the busiest oil shipping channel for weeks in response to the US-Israeli attack on Iran in February. We have not had an immediate response from the US. The two-week Iran-US ceasefire is due to expire on 22nd April.
Let's do a recap of tonight's headlines.
Chief Justice championed faster justice at Supreme Court's 150th anniversary. In the world of business, Newmont's leadership meets President Mahama, discuss sustainable sector growth. On the foreign front, Mugabe's son pleads guilty to pointing a gun in South Africa.
Thanks for watching the Mega News at 6 on MBN TV. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms at MBN 360, but on TikTok at MBN TV Official. Once again, my name is Juliet Aira Afu. Do enjoy the rest of your evening.